Hello once again, and welcome back to our wonderful world of uplifted and generative ideas and comments. I've noticed through this experiment with this Lance Renard haphazard production, throughout the 6 to 7 months I have been experimenting with this and the different issues, and then looking at all of the different comments that people have left and the issues that people find interesting. Thus with the headers and the images, which ones, just out of the whole psyche, what's the most interesting thing people, are drawn to. That's been part of my YouTube excursion and experiment here. I think personally, honor, integrity, dignity, and respect are the most important things in our lives, and even 100 comments. And so thank you for all of your attention and comments. I'm not sure how many of you people are actually still subscribed to my channel. I'll go ahead and subscribe to Backyard Sky. Hey, Backyard Sky. And, taking a look at, okay, let me go back here. I will do that blandly and blatantly, but looking at some of what people are, find interesting. What do we got going on here? Castaway J versus Mako Marty. Film and animation.
This is Castaway J, and hold on, Mako Marty.
Okay, what are you guys doing here? Running down the road trying to loosen my load. So it's a trip. It looks like it's a fishing trip, and I think the versus Jay versus Marty is in the amount of perch that they can catch. So yeah, posting your fishing trips. That's pretty cool. And there's a perch, as I had mentioned. Woo! It's got the background music. These are better than mine. So yeah, I've put out enough videos. You guys are putting out everything that we need to see here. Yeah, and he's showing how to prep the bait.
This masturbate Marty.
And he's a masturbator, obviously. It's excellent. Thanks, guys. And so how much can I really do here? How much can I really do or help? So I'm going to be going through other people's stuff and looking at your tackle boxes, and my videos are going to be varied more because of, well, what I just mentioned. Essentially, I have to stick to my own personal goals and intentions and ideas and information, and and for me to be distracted through so many of these great comments, I think it's more important, though, that I show some of your information and convey some of the, videos that, like here, we've got, and I'm subscribed to Issy Video, and like to look at a lot of this information. Now, here's some Tartarian information. And I do skip from flower to flower quite commonly, and don't want to spend too much time just browsing through, but it saves you time from clicking away, and maybe your fingers hurt, and I don't want to have your finger be hurt. And ignore this stuff on the side. Anyway. Sound resonance. Excellent. I'm going to bring this back and turn it up a touch just to listen to it, because it sounds amazing. Hopefully I won't get caught with a copyright detail. This is in South Africa, Tartarian building. in a word I can't pronounce, Berg, South Africa. So let's just go ahead and give that a like and turn it up and listen for a moment. That is one amazing machine, and you saw the pipes and the height over the whole entire wall of these pipes in this. It's one amazing resonance machine. Check that out. Wow. And the way that echoes through that chamber, just to think about it, moves the mind, in my humble opinion. I hope you agree. And so we want to thank the publisher, Issy Video, for putting this out. And thanks, Issy. And nice. Put it in a video. Put it in a video. Cheers, C-H-S, boom. Put it in the video, cheers. And there we have it. And the time is 11:21 a.m. on the 11th of the 7th, or July 11. Right. So these are the kinds of things I think are interesting personally. Thanks, Issy. And there's so much more to go through. And you go, yeah, well, I could browse through other people's stuff too. And yeah, you could, but I'm doing it for you, and that's part of watching videos, looking at videos, and getting an idea of what people think. And like Leavana puts in a very nice comment. She could use another subscriber, so I'll give her that. And I think anyone who likes me, I will probably like. And so this is part of the reasons I put this in. Updated today, Randall Carlson, 85 videos in her list, and I just found out about these lists. Actually, the lists on the side and all that. If you check mine, I've got like 190 because I don't know how to create a new list. And if you're interested in me actually learning this stuff, I would encourage subscribing and leaving a comment and letting me go through your stuff and check out some of your videos. But see, there are a lot that I liked intentionally or originally, and then when I looked at the all of the content, I'm like, ooh, like Truth Stream Media, a curiosity. All right, let's check out the one-shot answer information.
It's been said that voice technology is the ultimate behavioral study
Ultimate
that you didn't realize was happening. Although I would argue that probably most of the technology that we're interacting with on a daily basis is ultimately a behavioral study, the depth and breadth of which we don't fully comprehend. It's as if we...
Hold that phone for a minute there, Bob Louie. Now, this is what I've actually been talking about through the past couple of videos, which have lost me, 30, 40 subscribers. And showing this will probably lose me another 10 or 20. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so you can unsubscribe later on. However, it is the vibrations, the tones, the information conveyed, all combined into one little detail that comes through that you see and hear from the electronics you are looking at this moment. And these are parts of the things that I'm just talking about, basically. But let's get on with this.
We've been living in a giant science experiment for most of my life with this stuff. The way the tech has been rolled out seems to be to increasingly acclimate us to merging our daily lives and eventually ourselves with the technology. We need to talk about these smart assistants, these little speaker boxes that are basically spying on people 24 hours a day that they've...
Now, who doesn't really get into that? I mean, as far as knowledge goes, these things listening to us I don't have one, I don't keep one around, but then again, what's my cell phone? So I'm glad I got into this part, and let's continue on.
bought willingly and put into their home.
Hey, Alexa, I got a question for you.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
So that they can talk to an AI oracle on the counter that's this all-knowing little device that's going to tell them the answers to everything, any question that they want. This is going to be the next big push in computing. This is where they're saying now that computing is going to be headed. That in the future, more and more people are going to be talking to their computers than typing on their computers. That's going to be the way information is given. Former Google CEO and Bilderberg attendee Eric Schmidt has made the rounds all over the past few years about how smart assistants are going to be the next big thing, with the promise that AI will make us smarter.
What makes Google best positioned to own the future?
We're trying to invent the platform for knowledge.
The platform for knowledge. And I think that everybody who has gone into and looked into this information about the 5G and the carry, I mean, we know what's happening in our lives. We are aware to some degree of what we are doing and what is possible. And so check this out. I am going to go ahead and subscribe to Truth Screen, Truth Stream, not Scream. I call it curiosities, demonstrations, and conveyance of information. There is so much in our world that, I mean, it's a field of flowers. We can look at the flowers or dig down into the shit at the base of the
The
flowers.
question that needs to be asked is, why was Alexa programmed to laugh on command in the first place? Why are we doing that? But it's not really a secret, or it shouldn't be at least, or a shock or a surprise, that these smart assistants work by continuously listening to and collecting data on us. That's how they work. That's why we're never going to have one in our house. Ever.
And a girl, a woman, independent citizen, individual, and our ways of life, how we are all interlinked, interconnected. Hey, people in Europe, people in Canada, people in Mexico, people in South America, South Africa, or North Africa for that matter, all have this going on to whatever degree it's happening worldwide. And our awareness of what's happening is the first part. Our ability to do anything about the information that we collect as individuals. I mean, what is the difference between us and a machine? We know what it is. A machine isn't going to run out and rip us down, or is it? And we are able to run out and rip it down, or in some way, subvert or avert. So what is this?
The payoff, we are told, is increased convenience and efficiency. But I actually went and got this guy's book, and I've been reading it, and the downside is that we will become intellectually passive, because now something that we would have had to go do to search and hunt out our information.
Right. It's basically like doing a job, or working, or doing the physical manual labor of a job, or just sitting and watching someone else do the job. You're either exercising your mental capacities, or you're not. And so intellectual passivity is a huge part of it. Becoming aware of what's happening, and once again, what do you do to avert or subvert the dangers of laziness? I suppose sloth would be the issue.
Information, pick and choose through the options, make decisions critically about which ones are good and which ones are bunk or whatever. That's not even going to be happening anymore. Computer's going to be doing it for everyone. So that's the downside. The downside is a bunch of intellectually passive people who are just being spoon-fed, one-shot people.
But then the argument can go the other way, in that it would make it and does make it easier rather than grabbing an encyclopedia and thumbing through the pages and trusting the words on the page as we used to do. Now we have this passive nature, the convenient nature of just being able to ask and receive. Seek and you shall find.
Piecemeal answers to questions, and a lot of people who do searches aren't just looking for simple facts. I think a lot of people are looking for knowledge.
Wikipedia is itself not a reliable source according to its own standards. Here's something I found on Wikipedia.
Google has already made it very clear, and we've done previous videos on this channel about how they are going to be ranking the information. They're going to be burying information that they consider low quality information.
And there you have it. Once again, what happened to haphazard? In my first couple of months, I had hundreds of subscribers. It moved me. It shocked me. Hundreds, 100 a month. And then the next thing you know, I'm unfindable because I was starting to shift my information into more, you might say, political, worldwide political, with the Schitzenbergs and the overlords of our, world. And I guess I was hitting some nerves because suddenly all of my hits and views and subscribers pretty much just went dead stop. So it does inspire one like me that thrives on inspiration and possibly a titch of the poke in my ego to continue forth with productions because you were interested. However, when everything drops off, it kind of makes me feel like nobody cares anymore. And this is what's going on in her conversation.
Having to do with things like historical events that basically challenge the official status quo narrative of what happened, medical information, political...
See, I've covered the historical events and the false narratives in the historical events. I have covered how pharmaceutical corporations own the entire planet. I have not covered the fake news because, come on, really? Yeah, it gets pretty obvious. It's like watching a Pepsi commercial or a Coke commercial. And then, of course, science and all the debauchery and idiocies and idiosyncrasies in our so-called rational scientific method. So in my videos I have unfortunately done all of this. Thus my demise, and fare thee well, and this is my last production. So thanks for being here, but holy cow. Seriously.
Topics, because again, like we've mentioned in previous videos, only authoritative, official, mainstream sources are going to be allowable on political topics, and definitely controversial topics for sure. And science. That was another place. Science. These things, they've already determined that there's things that they consider conspiracy theories or that are just alternative information that is not going to be put in the top 10 of things. Well, now it's not even going to be a top 10. Now it's just going to be whatever the first thing is. That's what people are going to get from their little AI voice speaker oracle on the counter.
Right, we become too dependent on the information, and then the information is directed in, directions by the giver of the information. It's always been that way. In any book since you were a child that you looked at, that I looked at, we have to trust what we are told is the truth. So I hope I've made a good suggestion here, and thank you, my subscriber. Let's see who I was. Leavana. Whether or not you're still a subscriber, I don't know. But thanks for being there for now for this. And so, once again, thank you. And Logan, always a pleasure to... Now, I haven't heard from Mick C for a while. Probably another one of my lost subscribers, but thanks for this comment. Wow, that is a monster. Thanks for showing the Google image to the maps of the vacated northern provinces. I had mentioned this in an earlier video and went back to the northern provinces and just mentioned in Dutch Since's channel. People normalize storms in their mind by rationalizing the fantasy, a reinforcement tool for the conversations with others and the weathering into their own storms. They're pardoned from disseminating contradictions by MSM with different forms of messaging and examples played out on the screen. Most people realize in some real smart shit and beyond the abilities for normal people to grasp. People are forced to entertain the glaring anomalies every day through our observations. If nothing is as it seems, then this is the way it is designed to be. To obtain a collective perspective on what can never be validated, all people will suppress or forget what takes up room in the mind, remaining unresolved. Interesting point. That's torture to the brain. Forget it. It's easier. Storms are perversions which are implanted in the mind, forming a public conscience. The new corners of the reset are all traumatized. Couldn't think and weren't allowed to. The newcomers to the reset were all traumatized. Couldn't think and weren't allowed to. It only takes a generation to forget the history of the proper indoctrination. Thank you. Excellent points, Mixie. Brainwashed to believe we're on a ball. Why are we? And right. See, he makes the point that if you're mind-boggled and baffled, you just let it go eventually. You just forget about it. And Mixie, I don't know if I've gone in and given you a subscription, but you have really shown some great insight in your commentaries, and I have neglected to give you a subscription. Thanks, man. That is some deep stuff. Taking the time to read his comment is worth it. Definitely. Thanks, Mick, for that astute comment. And I do like to point that out, Susan Rogers. I apologize for glazing by on earlier videos. I am occasionally careless and just stumbling around. No subscribers, but look at all the videos you have on there. Let's just check it out. I apologize for taking so long, Susan. Take a look at some of these videos. Evidence of ancient cataclysm and advanced stone machining in Egypt. And yeah, we do see a lot of that, and there've been very, very many videos made on this subject. Let's check out Brian. And right, a lot of people open up their YouTube channels, and that's what they want to do for a living. I'm not a lot of people. I'm just one. Take a quick look at this and this information. I always like, the advanced machining information. It seems, okay, I'm going to just go ahead and start this, play a little bit of this video, and pray for a lack of copyright.
Which translates as father of fishes, but the original name, which is in Egyptian, is Bu-Wizir, which means the land of Osiris. So it's probably designating one of the oldest sites in all of Egypt.
All right, now that I'm noticing in this video the occurrences during this video, none of the dinging, pinging, and ringing are from me. Obviously, what it's going through is showing advanced stone machining tools and the grooves and the cuts and the impossible things that are done. Impossible. They're not impossible, obviously. There they are. But supposedly, according to our narrative, and their lack, the ancient Egyptians' lack of tools to create certain machining fabrications such as this, makes it fairly obvious. And also the cuts in the sides, not just the hole, but if you notice these curvature cuts and the way that they're just sliced into the granite as if it was soft. Not going to go too far into that, but just looking at some of this evidentiary details in the advanced machining during the times when they supposedly had no advanced power tools. And of course, who doesn't like the slice cuts on the sides of rocks that look absolutely like. Let's see if they show any of them right here. But they're, they're hundreds of thousands. Like this slice cut around here. There are just so many that, yeah. Go ahead and do that with a copper chisel. And then and people get upset, give us all that crap about how they did it, and then you you have to use a machine tool to do it today when you can't actually prove what your hypotheses and theories are and the way things were fabricated back in the day. And questioning our historical narrative. Once again, a lot of people are doing it, but then a lot of people are staying away from it. And it may be a good idea, because maybe that's what I should have done. But no, nay, I say, I will continue to follow in the lowest realms of YouTube because of my content. And so there, like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to share. And, of course, hit that pay me link so I can get some cash out of your pocket, because that's why I'm here. And, yeah, if you've watched any of my other past recordings, you know that is not the reason that I'm here. If you don't know why I'm here, and just doing this all on myself, for myself, by myself, and just actually curious about editing and putting together shows that weren't making me ill. And although I do really enjoy watching other people's content, yes. So these are the ways, however they may be diminishing and absolutely disappearing, unfortunately. Unfortunately indeed. So YouTube could just shut me down by just knocking out, 5 subscribers every day. Grand Canyon Orphan Mine. Orphan Mine. Grand Canyon Orphan Mine. And it is about a mine. And we'll just go ahead and turn up the volume to get an idea of the narrative on this. This shuttle bus provides round-trip transportation between village transfer and Hermit's Rest with stops and all scenic viewpoints along the route. And this is Dan Hogan's Hummingbird Perilous Ladder Trail. So this is a Grand Canyon Orphan Mine. I wonder... Alright. I'm going to just pull back slightly in this, once again, and look at the description. So it's a book. Film and animation. Huh. Okay, thanks. Huh, showing the book. Oh, that's great. Huh. So it's music showing the book, narration. Here, let me just pause that for a moment. Grand Canyon Orphan head frame view from Maricopa Point. Photo by... Okay, Orphan Mine. Mining Our World, steel head frame to the left. Yeah, and one of my past videos shows this as a huge mining area, as a hypothesis and likelihood. However, that is, once again, that's all it is. And, yeah. Orphan Mine. And now, who doesn't find it fascinating? I do, to consider that we dig out dirt, dig out rock, and then we heat that dirt and rock up to the point where it melts. Basically, the smelting. I've been looking into ancient or simple fundamental smelting, And yeah, it is pretty simple. Uranium, Western gold and uranium. So basically, you just take all the dirt, you take the rock, and you crush it up, and you extract what's in the dirt and the rock. It's pretty simple, you know. And of course, when it was originally done, it was done, rocks in a fire, and then they found what had melted together down to the base, the carbon mixed together with the melted ores. And so, once again, I appreciate my subscribers, and that is the point of this particular video and, these issues. So once again, gang, I'm just going to go ahead and drop this one off as a finished production, even though I did not get into the issues that I wanted to actually get into, which were having to do with the debauchery and the narcissism and the ego-driven ways of our world. And yeah, and the only way to subvert that is to be in a good mood, to have honor, integrity, and ethics, morals, dignity, and respect for yourself and for other people. And that's all I have tried to do, gang. So like, comment, and subscribe, and share. And please, try and get some of this out, because if it drops any further down, so do I. And sayonara, Charlie. So, have a great day, and I hope to someday talk to you again.